Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Intuitive Energy Forecast for December 13th, 2021. I'm Arlene Grace, an Intuitive Energy Life Coach, channel, and mentor. I say take whatever resonates for you and leave the rest behind. So the energy today is like, it's fleeting. And when I say fleeting, it is very easy to just get carried away and to not do the things that you are wanting to do. And this morning, I just allowed myself to be in the energy of it, just to notice. And I've been sitting here for over an hour, tuning into the energy and just feeling in. And every single time I was about to press play or record, I'd get up, I would walk around the house and maybe change my top, come back. And there's this energy of like fleeting for perfection, fleeting for control. And finally, I came back and I was like, nah, enough is enough. Let's do the thing. And so I'm sitting here and I'm tuning in, and there's this vision of this beautiful woman, and she is interesting. She is standing on this cliff, and it's windy, it's gusty. It looks like there's a storm, and the water is really, it's moving, lots of wind. And all I hear her say is, I do. And she puts her hand out, and it looks like her right, though she's putting her right hand out, putting it this way, because there's another, there's an energy here, and this energy is going to put a ring on it, right? And it's not a person, it's not a male, it's not a partner, it's not a romantic partner. It's this, I commit to the whole, I commit to the greater good, I commit to God or the universe or creator, I commit to all. And it's really interesting because the energy has been really at play all weekend. Many of you may have been feeling it in the body. Many of you may have felt ill, may have felt headaches, migraines. I know that for many of the weekend, or much of the weekend, there were these shooting pains that were just moving out through the roots of my teeth and moving up and out on my right side. And it was just, it's fascinating and painful sometimes. And just allowing it to be. There was no fixing, there was no broken, there's no, oh man, what can I take to help myself, give myself Reiki, do all these things. I simply allowed, and I listened to my body. And in this commitment to self, there's this energy of maybe running away, maybe not necessarily committing to the ideas, the thoughts that are and have been coming through you, have been inspired through you. And it's this aspect of control. When we are born, the science says that in order for us to be alive, we must have consciousness. We must have awareness. And that if we do not have a consciousness, we are in fact dead. And so in this, there are different levels, layers of consciousness that we move through when we are first born. And as we continue to evolve as human beings, as we continue to grow and expand and mature. And so the first consciousness that every single human being is born into is that of control. So think about it. A baby is now born. A baby is helpless. That if a baby does not cry, if a baby does not express itself, if a baby does not behave in certain ways, it will not survive. It will not be fed. It will not be changed. It will not be taken care of. It will not survive. It will die. And so in this consciousness of control, this is the first consciousness that we are to evolve out of. The next consciousness would be relationships, How are we in relationships? We start to see ourselves mirrored in others. We start to see ourselves mirrored in parents, not realizing that we believed that we were our parents as children, as babies, because until our brain was able to mature, it was unable to conceive that we were not them. And so now we're moving through this consciousness of control and relationships. The underlying energy right now is, it's an invitation. Are you open? Are you willing to commit to you? It's funny. I'm hearing someone ask, how do you define unconditional love? And it's really interesting how unconditional love has been defined in the world. Unconditional love is really unconditional love for self. Do I love myself unconditionally? And sometimes when I love myself unconditionally, it may mean that other people may take that as being hurt, or they may take that as painful, that others may take that as, I'm not the same as them, that others may leave, that others may think I'm crazy, that others may, whatever that is. And yet, to have unconditional love, to have this true commitment to self today, to the greater good, to the whole, because you are the whole, is the invitation. And when we look at all of the things that are happening in the world, what feels like is being heightened right now are the 4 core wounds. And I'm going to invite you to check out the pod that was released on Sunday, where we were speaking to the core wounds, but I'll speak to it just briefly here. The 4 core wounds are abandonment, neglect, abuse, and betrayal. And when you think about all of those words, when you think about being abandoned by our creator, by being abandoned by our parents, we were born in this place of control, where there was that fear. There was this fear that if I do not behave in a certain way, that I will not survive. And to think that that is programmed within our being, to think that that is programmed by numbers, because everything is made of numbers. And so today, ask yourself, where am I continuing to abandon myself? And am I willing to commit to me? Am I willing to stand by me? Neglect. Again, think about control. Think about those places where, you told the story, oh man, my parents just had to work overtime all the time. They needed to make money. They needed to do that, because I know that that was my story. I had to step up and take care of the siblings, right? And so the idea of neglect, where can you pull that back, and can you see and ask yourself, am I caring for all of me? Am I caring for all of my physical needs, my emotional needs, my mental needs? Am I caring for my body in such a way? Am I moving my body? Am I loving me? What does it feel like to love? And today, are you willing to commit to you unconditionally? Abuse. I want to say that every single person here who's either watching this or on the planet has experienced some sort of abuse. I mean, we are now, right? Over and over and over again. The last 20, 24 months almost has been that. Over and over and over again. It's actually become quite chronic. And so our physical responses, our physical bodies are now going through this experience physiologically, emotionally, mentally. Again, where are you abusing self? Where are you allowing yourself to get carried away on social media and all the places, on not eating healthily, not paying attention? Where are you in the hypnosis of life, and are you willing to wake up from it? This awakening, everyone speaks to this awakening that everyone is waking up. Absolutely, everyone is waking up. And the awakening is that we see that we are being deceived, and the willingness to actually stand up for it. Now, this doesn't mean to fight. What it does mean is deciding to be in your power, whatever that means for you. Deciding to come into mental, mind, emotional mastery, to come into physical mastery with that, to come into spiritual mastery, to understand that you are a creator, and to empower yourself with that idea, with that teaching, with that belief, with that knowing. Think about it. Think about all of the things that you have focused on. All of the things that you focused on, good or bad, whatever you want to name it, you have received it. You have had the experience of it. What if you could shift your focus in the direction of everything being what you wanted? And that the cause of that was unconditional love. So that you could experience the karmic influence, the karmic experience of unconditional love to be the experiences that you want. The fourth core wound, betrayal. Look at what's happening in the world. Look at what's happened in your experiences. This fear of being abandoned, of being betrayed. Are you willing to stop betraying yourself? How many times have you said, oh, I'm not going to do that thing, and then you do? How many times have you said, oh, I'm just going to stop right now. I'll stop next time. I'll stop. And then you don't. Now, I'm not saying this to be hard on yourself. I'm simply bringing to your awareness that betrayal is mirrored in others for what you do to self. Because we can't see ourselves. And so, are you just willing today to love yourself unconditionally, to take the oath, to make the commitment, to put a ring on it, to come into communion and connection with you? You alone, but not alone. It's an interesting energy. And those are your invitations. And at the same time, there is this ability to move into momentum with the mind, and it's pulling back. It's allowing your thoughts to simply go. You are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You do not have to be identified with your thoughts. You can allow them to go. It's not until you pick it up and give it meaning that it belongs to you. And so if you are in this place where you are just running with thoughts and with this energy of the 3 today, which is amplification, which is movement, which is flow, I'll just give you this one metaphor. Imagine that you are in a stadium, a sporting arena. You're at a basketball game. And you guys want to all do the wave, right? And so someone just, starts the wave, and then everyone else goes, blah, 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 right? Like, imagine that was a thought, and you just moved it up and out, and you're like, yeah, love. And it just went around and rippled out. Like, can you imagine the ripples? That is the wave. That is the movement of your thoughts. That is the movement of you. That is how your thoughts can just move like this and create experiences for you. And so where do you want to focus? Again, your invitation is to focus on you. to commit to you, to unconditionally love you. That's where it's always going to begin. Beautiful. Questions, comments, please feel free to share, and I will be happy to respond. In January, I'm beginning Brain Game, another group. And so if you are curious, if you're ready to get out of the box, if you are ready to see that you have this ability to create the experiences in your life, if you are ready to come into mind and emotional mastery, if you are ready to be empowered, then I'm going to invite you to connect with me for a clarity call. I'm excited. Happy Monday, everyone, and wishing you all so much love. Bye for now.